We have a massive, explosive breakdown today. So grab your snacks, hit that subscribe button, and let us dive straight into the absolute madness. Nobody saw this coming. Everything may have just changed forever. Jack Brennan is dead. Read that again. Jack Brennan, the man who survived so much, the man who was just starting to build a real connection with Nina Reeves, is gone. And the person standing over his lifeless body, Jocelyn Jack, this could be the biggest mistake of her entire life. We are talking about a catastrophic failure that is going to rip Port Charles apart and leave absolute devastation in its wake. You think you know where this is going, but trust me, you do not. The fallout from this single event is going to drag every major player back into the dark. Let us rewind and look at how we got to this bloody nightmare. It did not start with a shootout. It started with pure, unfiltered ambition. Jocelyn wanted to prove herself. Z told her she was valuable. Z fed her ego after she took down Ross Cullum on Spoon Island. So when the mysterious businessman Hudson arrived in town, Jocelyn saw an opportunity to make a massive name for herself. She did not wait for official order. She did not ask for backup from the agency. She went completely rogue. She decided to shadow Hudson on her own, thinking she could uncover his secrets and hand them to Z on a silver platter. But here is where things get incredibly messy. Hudson is not just some random corporate executive looking for a lost relative. He is dangerous. He is deeply connected to the underworld. And he knew exactly what Jocelyn was doing the very moment she stepped out of her front door to tail him. Jocelyn thought she was being stealthy, tracking his black luxury car through the winding roads of Port Charles, but Hudson was playing her like a fiddle. He wanted her to follow him. He was reeling her in. Jocelyn thought she was the hunter. She was actually the prey. Hudson led her straight into an abandoned, desolate warehouse district down by the dock. It was a classic textbook trap, and Jocelyn walked right into it, completely blind to the imminent danger. An assassin was waiting in the freezing shadows of the concrete building. The red dot of a laser sight was locked directly on Jocelyn's chest. She had absolutely no idea her life was about to end in that dirty alleyway. But wait, it gets worse. Because Jack Brennan figured it out. Brennan, with all his WSB experience and sharp instincts, knew Jocelyn was off script. He tracked her location. He realized she was walking completely unarmed into a literal slaughterhouse. Brennan knew that if he called for backup, it would be too late. He had to act immediately. Brennan rushed into the warehouse district. He did not hesitate for a single second. Just as the hidden assassin pulled the trigger, Brennan threw his own body directly into the line of fire. He took the lethal bullet that was meant to pierce Jocelyn's heart. He hit the cold concrete, bleeding out in a matter of seconds. Jocelyn was frozen in sheer terror, watching the life drain from his eyes. Brennan sacrificed his own life, throwing away his future with Nina, just to save Carly Spencer's daughter. And just like that, the dominoes started crashing down violently. Brennan's death is not just a tragic accident. It is the bloody spark that is going to ignite a massive, uncontrollable war. Guys, this is where it gets absolutely insane. You would logically think the WSB would honor Jack Brennan's heroic sacrifice. You would think Z would arrive on the scene and comfort his young, traumatized agent who just survived an assassination attempt. Absolutely not. Z arrives on the scene with a tactical team, looks down at Brennan's lifeless body, and then looks at Jocelyn with pure, unadulterated ice in his eye. Z does not see a survivor. Z sees a massive liability. Z blames Jocelyn entirely. He corners her right there in the bloodstained alley. He tells her that if she had just followed protocol, if she had not played rogue spy to stroke her own ego, Brennan would still be breathing. The WSB turns on her instantly. They are not going to protect her. They are going to frame her for gross insubordination. Z makes it perfectly clear that they are going to hold Jocelyn completely responsible for the death of a top-tier intelligence asset. Instead of a hero, Jocelyn is now the agency's ultimate scapegoat. And then everything spiraled out of control. Carly Spencer gets the frantic phone call. Every single terrifying fear she ever had about Jocelyn joining the WSB just came true in the worst possible way. Carly begged Jocelyn to walk away. She cried by her hospital bed after the Spoon Island shooting, begging with her not to end up in a body bag like Morgan Corinthos. And now, Jocelyn is not just in physical danger. She is being actively hunted and prosecuted by her own corrupt agency. Carly goes into absolute terrifying mama bear mode. The panic in her chest turns into cold, hard rage. But she quickly realizes that legal avenues are completely useless here. Diane Miller cannot fix this with a courtroom speech. Rick Lansing cannot file a motion to stop this. The WSB is a shadow government. They play by their own twisted rules, and they can make anyone disappear without a trace. Carly knows that if she plays by the law, she is going to lose her daughter forever. But that is not even the biggest surprise, because Carly knows exactly who plays by their own rules and wins. She goes to the only two men on the planet who have the power, the resources, and the sheer ruthlessness to wage a full-scale war against a global intelligence agency. She goes to Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan. Here is the ultimate heartbreaking twist. Jason just returned to Port Charles. He just sat on the Quartermain boathouse and looked Danny Morgan in the eyes, promising his son that he was finally out of the mob. He promised to put his family first and leave the violence behind. Sonny was actually trying to turn a new leaf too, celebrating the takedown of Jen Sidwell with ADA Justine Turner, thinking his life could finally find. They both desperately wanted out of the darkness. But you cannot simply walk away when Carly Spencer comes knocking on your door with tears streaming down her face, telling you that the WSB is going to destroy Jocelyn. Jason's blue eyes go completely cold. Sonny's entire demeanor shifts from a relaxed father to a lethal mob boss. In a matter of seconds, the kings of the underworld are back. They realize that to save Jocelyn from Z's wrath, they have to activate every single illegal connection they have. They have to use their money, their muscle, and their most lethal tactics to rip Jocelyn out of the WSB's grip. Jason is forced to shatter his promise to Danny, knowing it might destroy their relationship forever. Sonny is forced to embrace the very violence he was trying to step back from, completely disregarding Justine Turner's warnings about breaking the law. The mob is back, and they are out for blood. What happened next may be even worse. Sonny and Jason do not just have to fight Z and the WSB. They have to fight Hudson, because Hudson is the one who set the lethal trap. Hudson is the one who ordered the assassin. Hudson is the one who orchestrated this entire night. Sonny and Jason start digging into Hudson's background, and they quickly realize his network is deeper, darker, and more terrifying than Jen Sidwell's ever was. The mob is officially going to war against a mysterious, untouchable billionaire and a highly trained, corrupt intelligence agency all at the same time. Port Charles is about to become a literal battlefield. Bullets are gonna fly, and no one is safe. If you thought the mob wars of the past were bad, you have seen nothing yet. Let us talk about the severe psychological toll this takes on everyone involved. Jocelyn is completely shattered. She thought she was invincible after brutally taking down Ross Cullen. She thought Z was her mentor, her ticket to an elite life. Now, she is sitting in a freezing interrogation room, her hands still stained with Jack Brennan's blood, realizing she is nothing but a disposable pawn on Z's chessboard. Z is ready to throw her in a dark, underground hole just to cover up the WSB's messy operation. Z wants to use her to keep his own hands clean. If you ask me, Z never actually cared about Jocelyn's potential or her safety. He only cared about how he could weaponize her. And now that she broke his strict rules, she is garbage. Jocelyn has to face the horrifying reality that her dream career just got a man killed. And think about Jason Morgan's internal nightmare. Jason just got his life back after years of being a WSB prisoner. He just told Danny that he was home for good. Now, he is unlocking hidden safe. He is loading automatic weapons. He is making encrypted calls to offshore mercenaries. He is stepping right back into the lethal enforcer role because Carly needs him to save her child. The guilt of lying to Danny is going to eat Jason alive, but he knows he has no other choice. Sonny is absolutely furious. Sonny hates the WSB with a burning passion. He hates that they took Jason away for years. He hates that they manipulate people. And now they are coming for his stepdaughter. Sonny is ready to burn WSB headquarters to the ground. He does not care about the political consequences. He does not care about the law. ADA Justine Turner is going to be absolutely horrified when she sees the ruthless monster Sonny is about to unleash on the streets of Port Charles. Sonny is going to cross lines he hasn't crossed in decades. And what about Hudson? Who exactly is this guy? He arrives in town looking for a specific person. Maybe Ethan Lovett, maybe Delilah Wilson, maybe someone tied to Phoebe. But now he has the blood of Jack Brennan on his hands. Hudson just kicked the biggest hornet's nest in the world. He just made a mortal enemy out of Carly Spencer, Sonny Corinthos, and Jason Morgan. That is an absolute death sentence in Port Charles. But Hudson does not seem scared at all. He seems prepared. He seems arrogant. It is almost like he wanted this massive war to happen. He wanted to draw the Corinthos organization out into the open for a specific reason. Hudson is playing a game of chess, and he just sacrificed a major piece to get Sonny and Jason exactly where he wants them. The domino effect here is absolutely insane, guys. Jocelyn's blind ambition leads directly to a deadly trap. The trap violently kills Jack Brennan. Brennan's death triggers the WSB's ultimate betrayal. The betrayal forces Carly's desperate hand. Carly's desperation pulls Jason and Sonny forcefully back into the mob lifestyle. The mob goes to an all-out war with Hudson and the WSB. Every single action is violently crashing into the neck. There is no time to breathe. There is no time to even mourn Jack Brennan. Nina Reeves is going to be completely devastated. She finally found someone who understood her, someone who protected her. And now he is dead on a dirty warehouse floor. Nina's heartbreak is going to turn into a demand for vengeance, and she might just team up with Carly to make sure Z pays for what he is doing to Jocelyn. The situation is completely out of control. The WSB is closing their net. Sonny and Jason are gearing up for an unprecedented bloodbath. Hudson is watching from the shadows, calculating his next lethal. And right in the absolute middle of it all is Jocelyn Jax, realizing that her dream career just turned into a brutal fight for her own survival. But wait, there is one crucial detail everyone is missing. One tiny piece of evidence left at the warehouse that could change this entire narrative. A massive secret is about to be exposed. Someone else was hiding in that alley. Someone else saw exactly what Hudson's assassin did, and they saw exactly what Z did when he arrived. And when this hidden witness finally comes forward, all hell is going to break loose. You absolutely do not want to miss what happens next.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.